Hey guys, how's it going? Over the past week, I've actually had a friend of mine who watches the show get in touch with me over Facebook. Now, they asked me two very little questions. And, well, that's what this episode's going to be. It's going to be me answering those questions. Well, at least giving my thoughts on them. First question was, Gengar's Spirit Link, good or bad? Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with what the Gengar Spirit Link is, it's a case of... it's a Pokemon tool card. You can attach it to Gengar X. When you Mega Evolve Gengar X into Mega Gengar, your turn doesn't end. Now, I'm going to be honest, it's not a bad idea to actually have it so something to mitigate the Mega Evolution rule, and there have been a few people seeing it coming. Some thought it might be a stadium or something, but I never actually thought it would be a tool. Now, to be honest, the card itself, if every Mega gets this ability, or gets something like a Spirit Link, so even the ones that have already been released, then for the playability of certain cards, I think it's a good move. It's a case of, well, Mega Kangaskhan. What was that card missing, really? It did have decent damage output for a good long while. It was probably the best Mega until we started getting stuff like Lucario, and we started getting the competitive Megas. And the one thing that really let Kangaskhan and Aromatisse down was the whole idea that when you want to Mega Evolve Kangaskhan, you lose that turn. So every time you go for Mega Kangaskhan, you lose a turn of attacking. You're effectively losing advantage, and your opponent can take advantage of that. They can really push against it. Getting rid of that lost turn, yeah, that's a good thing. Especially, as I said, from Kangaskhan's point of view, it's amazing. I still don't think that the Charizards are going to be much more playable. Probably a bit more playable because of it, but as I said, this is all dependent on whether this is what Spirit Link is. So, as a card and as something to help other decks, yeah, I like it. Whereas, as a mechanic, I'm really not plussed by it. I really don't like the mechanic. What's the point of having the Mega Claws if you're going to release a card that says the Mega Claws isn't a thing 3 sets in? I mean, I'd understand, here's Megas, let's make them as big and powerful as possible, now here's the stuff to counter them 3 sets afterwards, but 3 sets in, Mega Claws, let's get rid of it. And, as I said, we don't have any guarantee that older Megas are going to get this, so Lucario might not get one, Kangaskhan might not get one, the Charizards might not get one, Heracross, all those guys, I'm sorry if I've missed anything. Everything that's already got Mega Evolution might not get this now. It might just be the new Megas get it, so maybe Mega Guardi when she finally happens. Mega Alakazam because he has to happen. It's the only way we can get Alakazam is to have him as a basic or have an evolving Abra, so Mega Alakazam will be a thing, because basic hexes. The whole fact that it gets rid of the Mega Evolution clause, I just think it was pointless actually having the Mega Evolution clause in the first place if you're going to do that. That being said, this is just Gengar's Spirit Link, so each one could be slightly different. We may get a Spirit Link for other cards that say remove damage or attach energy, or if it's active, retreat it to the bench, or just manipulate the energy on your board, or something like that. We don't know if all of the Spirit Links are going to be the same. And I'm going to actually voice my biggest complaint about the card right now, and I'm going to be honest. This is me nitpicking, but where is the Spirit Link in Spirit Link? Okay, it's something to do with the card underneath the thing you're evolving. So, okay, I can kind of get the spirit thing, but where's the link? When I heard the term Spirit Link, I actually assumed it was going to be that Pokemon would come out, a Pokemon would be released with the ability Spirit Link. If there was another Pokemon in play by a given name, it would then gain some kind of boost. A bit like what Politoed does with Poliwhirl, Poliwrath and Poliwag, where they don't have to pay colours cost if Politoed's out. Something like that. Because to me that sounds like a Spirit Link, it's a connection between the two Pokemon. But, as I said, that's just me nitpicking. Moving on to their second question, why do we get less than favourable promos for our League Challenge, but Japan gets cards like the Palace Belt and the Palace Book? Now, I've quickly actually looked up Palace Belt and Palace Book. They're not cards I'm completely familiar with. I've seen them come up once or twice recently because of the change from Belt to Book. And, well, for those who don't know, Palace Book, it's basically like a miniature Tropical Beach. You draw 3 cards, but you turn ends. To be honest, that's pretty powerful. That's pretty much it's roller skates. It's roller skates without a coin toss, but you end your turn. Palace Book, I'm all for that card actually being released over here. Its predecessor, though, the Palace Belt, was a Pokemon tool that, if it was attached to your active Pokemon, allowed you to draw 2 cards during your draw phase, instead of just 1. And I'll be honest, if we get Palace Book, if we get Palace Belt, we get cards like that, then we actually put ourselves in a situation where we actually turn around and say, well, these cards are now legal for Worlds. Which, I'll be honest, I think Palace Belt is a bit too good for Worlds. It takes the resource management and the strategy out of the game, which is already starting to wane slightly, and that's just me ranting about the format again. And it's basically turning around and saying, oh, you don't have to worry about your resource management because you're drawing 2 cards a turn. You've got twice as much chance to draw into what you need. You don't need to bother making your deck consistent because this 1 card will mean that you're just going to have instant consistency. You're going to effectively double consistency straight away. You might deck out faster, but if you've doubled your consistency, you should be going twice as fast. It's just that simple. And yeah, okay, I'll admit, one argument is you could just say, oh well, you can have these for league challenges and for regionals, but when it comes to Worlds, you cannot use these cards. But do we really want to start putting clauses and conditions on cards? Because you know for a fact there are going to be people who don't notice it. There are going to be people who actually just turn up and they're going to have 3 Palace Belt in the deck or something like that. Do you really want to? Do you want to play that format? do you want to be the person to tell that kid that they can't use that deck? You can't use those cards because shenanigans? No, it's just better to not have them in the World's format. I mean, yeah, you could put the clause on, and yeah, you can put it on the card, but then it takes away from what the card is. The card is just meant to be something that's silly and fun. I don't even think that it's actually used in Japan competitively. Let's see, I've never seen it in any lists. Let's see, your Palace Belt has ever turned up. Ah, here we go. The card is a mirror reverse holofoil and that has a stamp below the text effect text that reads Pokemon card game Palace Battle winner. So, in other words, it's not actually a competitive card, it's a trophy card. It's like the first through 4th place cards for Pokemon Worlds. So, right there it just says that, yeah, you can have this card, but it's not for play. It has this effect, you can use it in fun tournaments, you can, you know, if you're having casual games at League, you can slap it into your deck then, just for lols. But you can't actually play it in tournaments because it's a trophy card and nothing more. And do we really want trophy cards over here? Do we really want it that, you know, oh, that person who won like 2 or 3 tournaments, their deck's better than everyone else's because they have these limited edition cards. Heck, it was only for 2 months you could even win the past book. Well, it's going to be for 2, which were available to play during September and October 2014. I'll say, okay, so Bulbapedia doesn't seem to know what kind of time period we're in because it's saying September and October this year. It's currently August. Bulbapedia, time, it's a thing. Wibbly wobbly, all that kind of stuff. I'm British, I can get away with saying that. But, yeah, okay, back on subject. You can only get this card for 2 months at a time. There's only 2 months when you can get these, and it's an extended format, and it's a trophy. Do you really want to say that we want trophy cards over here? Do you really want to say that certain players, because they, a player could have got lucky once or twice, and now they have amazing cards to use, and they've got like super consistency because they actually end up having these super special, awesome cards from a couple of tournaments that they got lucky in. Because that's the thing. Do you want to lose to skill, or do you want to lose to luck? If you're allowing trophy cards in tournaments, then you're going to find that people are losing to luck and not skill. And I don't think that's fair on anyone else. So yeah, I hope that answered your questions. I hope that everyone else actually enjoyed this video and basically took something away from it. And until next time, I've been Relative Joey. You guys are the top percent. Peace out.